Why do you keep staring at my right eye?
I wasn't sure what I was walking into this morning, but you all right?
Yeah, I got nicked by one of my kitties today. I have two 14-week-old kittens, and I picked one up this morning, the girl, Gypsy, and she's just being a nice little sweet baby kitty on my right shoulder, and she nicked me. And then I was good, and I was driving over here, and then all of a sudden the sucker started to itch. So then, of course, I'm scratching my right eye, but now it's gone completely pear-shaped, and it's like it's leaking, and you're staring at it, and Sam Newton and Nordo and Curly Harris, they're all everybody's staring at my eye, and I think it's making it worse. Are you concerned about me?
I'm very concerned about you for the fact that you have kittens.
What's that mean?
Cats.
What do you mean?
I mean,
was this a cat? Adam
I got
Thielen,
nothing against cats.
Adam
but
Thielen, Paul Allen,
not
producer
for me.
Nordo, 9 to noon, Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center. You prefer dogs over cats?
Oh, 100%.
Why?
They just.
Do you have a codependency to you?
Well, actually, here we go. Let's go back here. Let me explain.
Okay, please do.
So, in college, best friend and good buddy, we're like, hey, we should room together. Mm-hmm. So, sure enough, we get another roommate, and there's three of us. We move into the house, unknowing of the fact that he has two cats.
Yeah.
So, two big old thick cats.
Yeah.
Move in with us,
Yeah, big fat tabbies.
which was not. I'm not a cat person. I don't know. They just don't do it for me.
But what when it comes to an animal, because at age 56, during the course of my life, I haven't had a lot of animals. So therefore, when it comes to having a King Charles Cavalier, which I have named Teddy, sweetest little codependent fat thing that you'll ever see in your life. Just a wonderful, wonderful, loving dog. Ain't no doubt about it. But then the flight attendant leaves, and there are two things that emerge. One, absence indeed does make the heart grow fonder. And secondly, the dog acts like it's about to die. I mean, it won't move. It won't engage with anybody else in the house. And it just I feel so sad when the primary owner leaves and how sad the dog gets. And there's just a codependency feel to it that I ain't going to say rubs me the wrong way, but it's tough to live with. Now, cats, I mean, you leave, man, you can leave for a day if their litter box is clean and you got requisite food and the water's clean. Well, they're chill for a day on their own. So I think really the dichotomy of dogs and cats comes down to the individual who owns them. Do they prefer a codependent lifestyle? or do they prefer a lifestyle of individuality and an ability to coexist with others on their own with their own personalities? What do you think of that?
I mean, I get where you're coming from, but I'm going to stick with dogs.
Well, and they're both great. I mean, they're both fantastic. But this kitty nicked me this morning, man, and the right side of my eye is that's why Curly Harris put me in this chair right here. He's like, we can't have your right eye at Vikings.com. It'll eliminate people wanting to watch AT19, who starts 9 to noon. Did the dirt storm and the wind and everything yesterday at practice? Did it get to you or anything? Like anything blow in your eye and make the right side of your eye red?
No, it's been quite windy. It's been windy. Like every OTA practice was windy. I feel like every training camp practice has been windy. So I'm starting to get used to the wind.
Well, you know what that signifies? The winds of change. I mean, the winds of change are
We're getting deep here.
God, yeah, but you're looking at me longingly, and I have to look the other way. Okay, 3-2. The winds of change are blowing through Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center metaphorically and realistically because there is a lot of change. And with all due respect to every coach or player or executive who has walked through this building or the one at Winter Park, because people get a little touchy these days, listening to the old 9 to nooner. I am greatly excited for this season because this old dog likes new tricks. And I ain't gonna, try to pretend like, I'm offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator du jour who knows exactly what he's looking at. It is so different, and the language being spoken when you get a chance to chat with coaches, at least I do. It's just everything is so different For me, it leads to excitement. What about you?
Yeah, for sure. I think us as players, we probably have to tone it back a little bit, right? Because we're so excited, but we have to focus on the process. You have to understand that things are better, things are super exciting. The pieces that have been put in place are going to provide us an opportunity to handle adversity, to be set up for success. But at the end of the day, we still got to go out there and make plays. We still have to go out there and practice our tails off to get used to the new staff, the new playbook. Because there's a lot of different language, like you said, and that language, it's like sometimes it feels like someone speaking a foreign language that you've never heard before. And so just getting used to that again. So it's exciting for me. Honestly, it's keeping me young and fresh because it's new, it's exciting, and it's just something that you have to learn to master again and have to figure out. And maybe some of the same routes, right? But coaches like it ran a different way than I've done in the past. So that for me is exciting. It keeps me young.
You ever sit back, like more so in the off season or maybe after mini camp, that 5-6 weeks up to training camp, and do you ever think like how much longer you're going to play, like how much longer you want to play, or physically you think you can play?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's kind of this point in my career that, you start to think about those things. I'm definitely taking it 1 year at a time, 1 day at a time, focusing on, right now, how can I feel the best for today's practice? How can I take advantage of the off day tomorrow? Those things is what I'm focused on right now. But I think in the off seasons, you start to think about, hey, how many more years would be, ideal? But there's so many factors that lead into that. So I'm not going to put a number on it. I'm not going to say, hey, this is when I'm going to do it, because who knows what's going to happen in the next few years. So I feel great right now, which is good. And so I'm definitely not retiring right now.
Now, your head coach, Kevin O'Connell, who will be calling the plays, Wes Phillips, offensive coordinator, but focusing on Kevin. And through your run here with, say, like Norv Turner, multiple Super Bowl champion, old school Norv, and Gary Kubiak, a handful of rings. Kevin Stefanski in his 30s, but he's an old soul, and Kevin's a flatliner. Clint also on the younger side, but he's kind of a flatliner. What I'm getting at here is O'Connell's like a kid. I don't know how he is in the meetings, and like if player A, I asked you to do this Monday, you messed it up again. Like how he handles like mini conflict like that's not my business. But watching him out on the practice field when you guys are going against the D, he's like a kid, jump like little bunny hop jumps, and he do you see it that way? He has a very childlike demeanor to him that I just really enjoy.
Yeah, I feel like there's two sides. But I think he's kind of an old soul a little bit. Like I feel like he seems like experience-wise, he seems older than he is. And then I think his excitement level, like. For example, we're in in the huddle up after the first conditioning test to start training camp.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, I just want to go practice right now, like in front of the whole team. He's like, I wish if the rules allowed me, I'd go practice right now because I'm so excited to be around you guys. And I think it's, that type of energy, that type of excitement, it's what you need.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, you know what? I could go practice right now. Like, this is great.
Right.
It gets you as a player instead of the opposite of maybe not having that energy. And you're like, we got to do the conditioning test. We got to do this. We have meetings tonight. Well, we don't have that vibe in this building right now. And I think that again, those are the things that set you up to handle adversity and to set you up to have success. But at the end of the day, it's about us doing our job together, being a team, not being a bunch of individuals, to go out and do our jobs to have that success. Which when you have the ability, when you're set up to do that is exciting. But again, you got to go out there every day and handle your business.
AT19, 24 TDs the last couple of seasons, 9 to noon, time for 2 more. Are new plays hard to learn? Like not just new play, but like a bevy of them, and then depth of route and everything you need to sell. That since you caught your first touchdown pass in 2014 at the College Stadium from Teddy, where the Thielen calling card for people like us, talking about it is everything's full speed. Top of the route, full speed, shoulder shake, boom, there you go, you get open. And you're just very, very gifted with that. But to execute it when there's so much new, like when do you look at it and you're like, I got it?
Yeah, I mean, I look back at, this is my 8th different offense coordinator in 10 years.
What?
I look back at, all the different offenses. That doesn't mean that they've all been different offenses because the last 3 years been the same offensive scheme, but 3 different play callers. But yeah, I think you look back at it and you're like, man, I remember going from year 1 to year 2 when Norv came here and learning the number system, which was like a complete foreign different language because I had never heard of the number system before. I didn't know what the route tree and numbers was.
Yeah.
So I remember how hard that was to learn. But this offense blows it out of the water as far as how hard it is to learn.
Wow.
And just all the different formations and all the one-worders where you're on the ball and going fast. But I think when you look at it, it all makes sense. So that's exciting. Number 2, I think we can do a lot of things with very little communication. Which is very exciting. So we can switch up tempos. We can do different things. There's just a lot of excitement with the fact knowing that it's a lot of learning and a lot of studying and a lot of learning on the field, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you can draw everything up on paper, but when you're on the field, it's different. Different coverages, different way guys play you. So then you're talking through how this coaching staff wants things done. And like I said to start off, there's same routes I've ran my whole career, but they like them a little bit different. They want them ran a little different in the timing and the scheme of the system. So it's just trying to figure out how they like things done and then trying to master it.
Potentially dumb question alert. Do you look back at Rams all 22, maybe even from last year? Like, I'm not saying that there are plays that there are the exact same, just labeled differently. I'm sure that is the case. But do you ever look back at it just to see, like, hey, here's how Cooper Kupp did it, here's how Robert Woods did it, and so on?
Yeah, in the install process of this offense, so through OTAs, even now as we're installing plays in training camp, we're looking at those plays from the Rams. We're kind of like we call it the teach tape, right? Like, so the perfect of this play, whether it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, last year, what was the perfect look of this play to install it? So it kind of gives you a good visual, right? I'm a visual learner. I can't just look at a piece of paper and learn. So for me to be able to see it on tape in a real game against a real defense, it's a better way to learn. And again, it's that teach tape. So it's that perfect steps, footwork, angle coming out of the break, and then you can kind of just get a visual. Now when you go to practice, you're like, okay, you kind of have that visual of what it's going to look like.
Okay, I could chat with you all day, so I'm getting the signal from Spearfish Sammy Newton, who either recognizes you have a meeting to go to or Stacey Dales from NFL Network needs a second hat. So I'll close with this. Where is your favorite place to go in the world and why? Either you and your wife or you and your family.
I love the Caribbean. I love being on the beach.
The Caribbean's the best.
But honestly, we go to Florida in the off season and spend some time there, and we love it there. Great golf, which is good. Very family oriented. Lots to do for the kids. Just being outside, being at the park, and stuff like that. So, but there's just nothing better than the beach, to be honest.
Can Chisena still beat everybody in the room in a 100-yard race?
100%.
Still?
Yes, 100%.
You're my man. I appreciate you stopping by.
I appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Adam. Sam Newton, thank you. Curly Harris, Michael Harris, thank you. Nordo produces, and I'm Paul Allen.